This is a game, a games game, a game for gamers, a game that pushes the game industry to make better games. Why? Because this game fucking stinks. That's too harsh. I'm sorry. That's too harsh. My bad. I'll take that back. That was uncalled for. I shouldn't have started the video like that. Nano Breaker is that game you saw the cover in stores and never knew what it does, but was too afraid to even pick it up. I mean, seriously, I did too. I found this at the thrift store the other day for like $2 and thought, hey, it isn't Madden or NBA Courtside 2002, so fuck it, why not? Little background information, Nano Breaker is the brain fart of the mastermind of the Castlevania franchise, Koji Igarashi, released in 2005, and this game is just kind of made just cuz. It was an engine testing game along with Silent Hill 4 to help the developers work their way around the next big Castlevania game, Curse of the Darkness, which explains a lot now in hindsight, as that is my least favorite and the only console Castlevania game I've ever played. A lot of work and the design ideas from this game that worked would later go on to be used in Curse of the Darkness. While this game sadly didn't get any more love other than this release, it's a game, so how is the game, you ask? Well, this is Nano Breakers. You play as Jake, a cyborg ninja before Raiden made it cool to be one, sent on a nanomachine island, as I will call it from here on out, where all the leading top smart dudes live and work on what is now, it's too late. They're already self-replicating, they're taking over, yeah. Right on cue. The game is really fucking cool. We're like, Jesus Christ, people are dying. Everything has become these orgamechs or nanomachine monsters, and it's kind of fucked up that they already named these monsters before you even land on the island. That's kind of messed up. I mean, they're still people. And now it's up to you, Jake, to go in and somehow find the lead scientist that somehow snuck on the island and somehow protect her and somehow stop the nanomachines before the world gets destroyed. Which bears the question, if I'm a cyborg ninja, why do we need nanomachines? Just make more cyborg ninjas. I mean, there's even another Virgil cyborg ninja and he's just as capable as me. He cuts a fucking bridge in half, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The story takes itself way too seriously for the batshit crazy stuff you're going to be doing. I mean, in the first 5 minutes, you fight a giant fucking Venus Serena flytrap. I mean, you want me to take this seriously? No. Stuff happens, stuff dies, fights happen, and eventually you learn through a very predictable twist that it was all the Colonel all along that wants to use the Orgamax to become the ruler of the world and somehow fuse with this fucking computer to become the final boss. I don't care about spoilers, because this plot's stupid and it doesn't help the game at all. Every time that you do get a cutscene, it's never anything like important. It's kind of just like, oh hi, I'm a person, go here and do this. Okay, you came back? Okay, cool, go do something else for me, please. And then story just keeps progressing. That's really it to it. And you wanna know why that doesn't help this game? Because this game's fucking hard. But before we get to the gameplay, let's get back to the presentation and talk about everything else. This is the bloodiest game you'll ever play. Like literally, this is the bloodiest game you'll ever play. There's splatters everywhere. From one swing, your whole screen will be redder than a room of that kid that really thinks his demon powers sealed in sodomy trope is revolutionary. The menus are slick and everything looks fine. The graphics are, well, very PlayStation 2. Don't really hold up today and look their age. It wasn't until I started writing this script that I realized this game came out the same year the 360 did. If you told me that this game was an early release title for the PlayStation 2, I would believe you. The enemies and locations you browse around are pretty generic and it doesn't really stand out much. Everything is real grayish military industrial types or streets and sewers. There isn't much variety even though you're on a tropical island, but I digress. The enemies have a handful of body types and they just switch palettes and different movesets and weaknesses. The bosses, fuck it, bro. This game is a hack and slash that has decided to copy Devil May Cry's homework without understanding what page of the homework we're even on. There's this cool but rather annoying system of getting combo chips to add to this giant grid to increase your combo variety. But they come too far in between that you really spam the same couple of moves for the most of the game. Even with the farther you go in the combo trees, you really have a set number of attacks that are so efficient that certain mobs there's no point in using anything else. Then there's also this cool capture mechanic. There's this one-shot kill if you time the attack button at the right time and the enemy gets to you. It's really cool when it works, and I don't really think it works at all unless you use a certain distance, but I mean, you can also get access to power-up chips that allow you to do special abilities such as speed boost, screen clear, special weapons, and they use this booster's gauge that's increased with successful captures and combos. You probably noticed the giant counter of gallons and blood in the bottom corner. That's where my grievances come in. You increase your life and booster by killing monsters. There is also very few life pickups, only being placed right before a boss. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Only being placed right before the lead up to a boss, only for them to fuck you and take it all back with their shitty puzzles, combat rooms, and platforming. And there's no way of gaining life as well after a boss or death. Whatever you had at that checkpoint, that's it. So you have to play your absolute best against some of the honestly really detestable encounters of bullshit. Environmental platforming with shitty jumping physics, and it's just overall not a good time. I do give credit when credit is due. The combat is really fun when it works. That's implying it works all the time though. But like I said, capturing and combos work in tandem when you get the flow going together. But if you get hit or comboed by an enemy, they can take a huge chunk of your life, and that might have you fight a whole boss with only a quarter of health, like I did numerous of times. Since this is made by the Castlevania dudes, of course expect some Vania-like backtracking. Psych, it's pretty linear even though the whole map is pretty much open for exploration. Most pickups on your mini-map can easily be found without much fanfare, but that's implying that you get one. The best example I can give to you to explain how this game works is the lead up to the final boss. You have this annoying platforming section that leads into another annoying platforming section with combat arenas in between. After finishing this monstrosity, you end up in this room with this block puzzle. Once you clear this and all the enemies in each room, you have to fight the first phase of the boss, which is a mess of its own. Then you face the mid phase. Then you face the actual final boss. Oh, and did I mention there's no save points, no health pickups, or anything from that point forward? You have to trek from the last boss all the way to the finale of the damn game in one pickup. It's egregious, and I honestly gave up, so this footage you're seeing here is all I got. I don't care about the ending of the game. I wanna like this game, I really do. It scratches all the sniff boxes that make me go, that's my shit. It got a dumb plot with an even dumber boss and characters, and tight-knit, fluid combo systems that's easy to play with difficult and necessary to master mechanics. It's that early 2000s jinx and shit, you just don't see it in video games no more, and that's a much needed refresher. Honestly, if this game was made today with more DMC inspirations and not DMC 2 inspirations, we might be cooking with some grease. But instead, we just have a lukewarm sunny side up egg. Still delicious and good with a morning coffee, but it oozes out all the flaws that make me go ew, even though it's something I know I probably will love to eat, already ate, and will definitely eat in the future. Same flaws and all. If you can find it cheap, cool, pick it up. Enjoy the hell out of this insane adventure. Emulate it. I don't give a shit. Makes me want to revisit the game that Nano Breakers got shafted for again and see if it was worth undercooking this game. At least you get to play as that cool dude from that one Contra game on PlayStation 2. Wait, there's a hard mode? I'll be serious for a second. This is a pretty fun game. For a minute, like for the first 2 hours, it was pretty fun. That's all I can really say in the sidebar. I don't really want to talk about this game anymore. It kind of hurts me. Once again, you can check me out anytime you want at all my Instagrams, Twitters, whatchamacallums, the people's choices are in the description below. As well as, if you want, you can listen to our podcast, Back of the Rack. I don't think we covered this on this show, but we still covered other games if you wanted to see. So, speaking of C, you can watch us talk about Crimson Sea too. So, go ahead and click that link in the description below and see what's going on with that. Like always, it's Sondi. Adios, amigos. I'm switching the ending now. I'm the captain now.